They see the change, the tone, but they couldn't handle that. No, they couldn't handle that. If they really knew the fact, they really don't.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this series we're going to be going over Neptune in the houses, okay? Neptune in the houses, and in this episode we're going to be talking about the 8th house. So having Neptune in your 8th house. And before we get into that, I just got to remind you guys to check out my music. If you enjoyed the little snippet of music in the beginning of this video, that's my new song, Can't Take the Throne. Definitely check it out here on YouTube. All you have to do is type my name. You can also check it out on Spotify and Apple Music, okay? Also, follow me on TikTok, okay? My name is at Sam_Dolphin. You can follow me there. And finally, if you want a reading with me, okay, I do astro readings as well as tarot. You can book that at my email, samastroreadings@gmail.com. Okay, samastroreadings@gmail.com, and we could go forward with that. Okay, so getting back into Neptune in the 8th house, okay, and the first thing I'm gonna say about Neptune in the 8th house is that these people are incredibly emotional, psychic, and intuitive, okay? This is the placement for them psychic, intuitive, emotional gifts, okay? And this is for anyone. Just like I said with Neptune in the 4th house, very intuitive, very psychic. Same thing with the 8th house. And in Neptune in the 12th house, okay? This is because Neptune is a water planet. And you put this watery planet in this watery house, you're getting 2 of the water element energy, so it's like double the energy of the emotional, psychic, intuitive gifts, okay? So incredibly intuitive here, okay, with Neptune being in the 8th house. And the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, so this type of water can be very assertive, okay? So when I talk about psychic intuitive gifts, I'm talking about feeling other people's emotions, feeling other people's moods, being in tune with other people, okay? And it can be so strong that you're psychic or whatever. But whatever it is, you're going to have these intuitive gifts, okay? And because, like I said, we're talking about the 8th house, you can even be assertive with it. So this is why I say this is a good placement for being even like a detective in a sense, because you're good at seeking out people's true intentions and their emotions, their deep emotions and their motives, and you can feel it and you have a radar for it, okay? Because like I said, 8th house, you know, it's ruled by Scorpio. It's very intentional, very assertive. It's about power, okay? So a lot of times you use your psychic gifts for your power. So you intentionally read people's emotions, read people's intentions. You know, you feel, you know, when you walk into a room, you naturally can feel people's moods and you study them. You know, you kind of own it because, again, this is Scorpio. This is a Scorpio house, the 8th house, you know. So it's very assertive with this energy. This is the assertive water sign, you know. So definitely be mindful of that. You know, the psychic, intuitive, emotional gifts here are strong, okay? You're definitely going to be able to feel people's emotions very easily, feel their intentions, feel their mood. Like you walk into a room, you feel everyone's mood. You can kind of basically read people. You know, they don't got to tell you anything. Very strong here, very emotional, very intuitive, very in tune with people. And then on top of that though, however, when we talk about the 8th house, it's either you have the power or the power is being put upon you. So someone's oppressing you. Okay, so a lot of times though with Neptune in the 8th house, even though you could be very conscious of your gifts and use them, okay, your very detective self, you can also have these gifts against you. So anytime you display your psychic gifts, your intuitive gifts, anytime you use your intuition, someone is like going against you in a way, like trying to say you're wrong or you're bad or you're evil. You know, people calling you a witch. You know, say you have very strong psychic gifts, like to the point where you're like literally a psychic. You know, people can use that against you and call you a witch even though you don't have any bad intentions. Like your intuition, a lot of people can doubt it. Like, no, that's not real. Gaslight you, you know, with Neptune in the 8th house. So you got to be careful because yes, you can have a lot of power with your psychic gifts. Like I said, these people are super psychic, super intuitive, okay? And because it's the 8th house, they are assertive with it. But you could be on the other end and people asserting themselves against you because of your psychic gifts. So like telling you that you're wrong, telling the things that you're picking up are wrong, calling you evil for what you're doing, you know, calling you, you know, saying you're like, you have bad intentions, making you feel bad and insecure about your extrasensory gifts, you know. So definitely be mindful with that Neptune 8th house, because the 8th house is an emotional obstacle and there are going to be trials, and this is energies that you have to overcome. So you have to overcome your psychic gifts. You have to have control and power over them, and be mindful that people are going to try to make you feel bad for it. People are going to try to go against you for it, okay? Tapping into your psychic gifts can cause some negative karma as well too, okay? So say if you're abusing your gifts or whatever it is, you know, it can cause negative energy, negative issues for you as well too. So just be careful about that, and notice and understand that this is an emotional obstacle and you need discipline with your psychic gifts. So you're definitely gonna come up a lot of opposition and people trying to oppress you when you display your psychic gifts, or just issues coming up because your psychic gifts are being displayed. So the discipline with your intuition, with your, you know, emotions is very important here, in order to not experience so much negative energy, okay? Because it's definitely going to be challenged here. Your gifts will definitely, your intuitive psychic gifts will definitely be challenged here. Also, with Neptune in the 8th house, be aware of sneaky enemies, blind enemies, okay? Neptune deals with anywhere where Neptune is in your houses. This is where you need to be conscious, because you're super blind, like super blind, super not paying attention, okay? Super gullible, okay? You know, so you can have lots of people against you. Well, I wouldn't even say lots of people, but you can have people against you that you don't know. Blind-sided enemies. Neptune in the 8th house is a manifestation for blind-sided enemies. Enemies that you don't even know. People who are very close to you that you think are for you that aren't, okay? So you need to be careful with this, because these people can really oppress you, and can like catch you like without you even knowing, because you're not paying attention. You have to be careful with the relationships that you make, okay? You have to be careful with the connections and the people you're open to, the people you let in your life. Because like I said, with Neptune, Neptune is very open. Not only is it blindsided, but it's very open. And the 8th house, where this is where the demons live, this is where the emotional obstacles are, you're gonna have people who are out to get you. And if you're not paying attention, they're gonna get you. You need to pay attention with Neptune in the 8th house. A lot of sneaky enemies. Okay, people really wanted to do bad to you and you don't even know. You need to be careful, okay? Because they're not going to be obvious, because you're not making it obvious, because you're not paying attention and you're being too open to people. So this is not a placement to just easily attach yourself to relationships, because 8th house deals with them strong relationships, those type of bonds. So any relationships you get into, any connections you get into with people, be mindful and understand that these attachments, they can have something negative for you, okay? And you don't even know. So be careful these relationships, be careful the people that you deal with, because it could be a trap. And with Neptune in the 8th house, you're being way too open. You're trusting, you know, these relationships that you're getting into. You're trusting people. You're not understanding that this can be a negative experience. And because you're being gullible, you're being open, you're believing, you're just opening yourself up with that Neptune energy, you're allowing a lot of demons in to attack you, okay? Because this is the place where demons attack you. You got to be aware. And Neptune isn't aware in the 8th house. Neptune isn't aware energy. So again, the gullibleness, allowing enemies to just come and attack you. Being blindsided is a big deal with this. You need to be careful with this placement, because you are blind in a place where you need to have your eyes open. don't want to be blind in the 8th house, okay? Because there's lots of demons here and they will attack, okay? So, and again, demons is just a metaphor of how I'm explaining it. This can manifest in so many ways, you know, just the relationships you get in with people being against you, your people you call your friend, your partner being against you, people you thought were for you being against you, sneaking, stealing things from you, taking things from you, competing with you, you know, acting like you're your friend and really they're backstabbing you. Be careful with this. A lot of blindsided negative energy, people catching you, you didn't even know, because you're being open and you're not being aware. Also, you know, with Neptune in the 8th house, there's lots of emotional baggage, which leads to depression here, okay? The 8th house, there's lots of trauma in the 8th house. Lots of emotional obstacles, things that you have to deal with that break your heart, okay? This is the 8th house, okay? So with Neptune being such an open energy, you open so many emotions to flood through you. So many energies can come, like I said, attack you. All of these experience, however, it leads to baggage because, you know, again, Neptune's a watery energy, 8th house is a watery house. You know, you kind of soak in all these issues and they kind of stay within you and it deals with your emotions. So your emotions hold energy. Your emotions is your soul, it like holds energy. So with all these negative things happening to you, you're holding on this energy. And so much of this energy, negative energy, can come to you because you're Neptune, like you're open. So open to all this negative energy, it's going to be all, and then holding on to it is going to lead to depression. So you're going to have lots of negative energy because of the negative experiences that you're experiencing in life. And that's why with Neptune in the 8th house, you need to be aware. You can really heal yourself if you're aware. It's one of the biggest obstacles to overcome, Neptune in the 8th house. But depression's big here. And because it's easy to collect all this negative emotional baggage, you need to go in them and do your laundry, do the dirty laundry, and feel them out and release them. Okay, and you can only do that if you're conscious and aware. So be aware and understand when Neptune in the 8th house, there's a strong manifestation of depression because of all the emotional baggage. And if you're not doing your shadow work here is so important. Just like I said, Neptune in the 4th house, same thing with Neptune in the 8th house. Shadow work. You need to go into your emotions and feel them out and release them and understand them. Understand all this baggage. Heal yourself, nurture yourself, Neptune in the 8th house people, because like I said, you're opening yourself to so many energies. You're vulnerable, and these are lots of negative energies because it's the 8th house. It's all about emotional challenges and obstacles that you have to overcome. So you're opening yourself to all this negative energy. Oh my God, the depression can be intense, and if you don't go over these energies and release them, okay, because emotions, they're energies, and if you keep them in, they're just gonna stay there. So you gotta feel them and release them and heal them by understanding them and where they come from. But if you're not doing that shadow work, you know, because you're Neptune in the 8th house and you're so unaware and you're not, you know, being conscious of this negative energy that you're holding within yourself, you're going to be very depressed. You're going to deal with lots of emotional baggage. You should constantly be washing out your energy, okay? Because like I said, you're a big, like, open for energies. Like, there's other placements where they have more protection. You know, with Mars in the 8th house, they can fight back. They're very expressive. They want to, like, move. They just want to rage and express themselves. Saturn, it's very conservative. You know, Saturn is all about shielding and protecting, but Neptune has none of that. It's not really a fighter, and it doesn't, you know, it's not, it doesn't have boundaries and strong boundaries like that. So things get lost here, and it just piles up, and it's like dirty laundry, and next thing you know, you're extremely depressed. You need to take care of your emotions, Neptune in the 8th house. You are a very emotional person, okay? This is why you have all your intuitive gifts. You need to feel out your energies and clean them out every day. You cannot just be holding on to all this negative energy. You need to feel them out and release this energy. You need to be doing shadow work. You need to be going over your dark energies. Go over them. release them, feel them out, understand where they're coming from, so you can understand your moods and why you can have so many moods. Okay, like I said, Neptune in the 8th house, very emotional placement. You can have lots of moods, and the reason why you're having all these mood swings, these negative moods, is because of all this dirty laundry and emotional baggage that you're opening to all the time and not washing it and releasing them out. Okay, so it's a very intense placement. Placement is very emotional. Okay, so you know, 8th house in general, you got to do shadow work, but when you put a watery planet like Neptune, you know, you need to really look within your emotions and release them, and do that dirty laundry. Okay, so depression's a big manifestation with this placement. So you need to do the shadow work and release those negative energies, and do them on a daily basis, okay? Because it's that intense. Also with Neptune in the 8th house, drug abuse, okay? I say abuse because 8th house deals with that, okay? And, you know, Neptune is all about escapism, so drugs is a big thing here. But the big thing, drugs is the big thing for Neptune, and the possible manifestation is that you get into drugs and have all these negative emotional experiences, okay? Because again, 8th house, emotional obstacles, okay? This is the house of transformation, you know? So a lot of times I feel like with Neptune in the 8th house, you need to overcome drugs, okay? You need to overcome addictions like drugs and escapism. Being addicted to escaping and using drugs too, because these are going to cause a lot of negative experiences, okay, with the 8th house. So it's almost like you got karma with drugs. So a lot of times, you know, taking drugs can lead to some very dark moments where you're very vulnerable. Someone can take advantage of you, or just, you know, you black out and you just have a very dramatic, disgusting, annoying experience with drug, or maybe you having even a life or death experience with using drugs. Like, very traumatic things can happen with using drugs. So be very careful, because with some other placements, it's like you could just not be paying attention. But the karma here with 8th house is like, the karma here is strong. So it's like you could get a immediate negative situation or experience, and even a traumatic one, when it comes to substance use and drugs or any type of escapism. It doesn't even have to be hardcore. It could be like even drinking coffee and like being addicted to that. Any type of addictions that you're using to escape reality can cause some emotional trauma. So definitely be careful with that with Neptune in the 8th house. Also with Neptune in the 8th house, there's a huge interest and even abilities when it comes to the occult, okay, and mysticism, and even magic, like the idea of it, because Neptune is like this magical planet. It deals with magic. It deals with reality outside of us, like the spiritual reality. Like, it's the furthest from physical reality. So it deals with the supernatural, things that we consider superstition, things we consider magic, you know. And when you put this in the 8th house, the 8th house is all about hidden things, okay, things that we don't necessarily put out there. So you're mixing a lot of mysticism and magic and that supernatural energy with the shadow side, the dark side, you know, hidden, you know, information and knowledge. So Neptune in the 8th house, these people are going to have a big interest in like mysticism and, you know, subjects like astrology, but even more taboo, even more like magic and even witchcraft and things like that. Like, you're going to be into that, the occult knowledge, okay? Because again, 8th house deals with occult knowledge and hidden knowledge, but with Neptune here, there's that extra like taste of magic and mysticism and supernatural. So you like to discover that world and discover that, you know, and reality isn't just what's presented to us. There's a hidden part. There's magic. There's things that we don't really talk about. Neptune in the 8th house is very much like, in my opinion, like people like to call like witchcraft or like witching or being a witch. You know, because a lot of times when it comes to magic, it is Neptune in the 8th house, where it's like it's mysticism, it's magical, but it's still seen as taboo. You know, it's seen as, you know, bad or horrible. So things of that nature will be of your interest because you represent that as a Neptune 8th house person. You know, you're all about hidden magic. You know, that's all I like to say. Like, Neptune 8th house is like, you're like hidden magic. Like, you're into the supernaturalness of everything, but in a hidden way. Because people consider that taboo. Also, with Neptune in the 8th house, be mindful of psychic spiritual attacks, okay? Attacks that feel like it's coming from something spiritual. It could be like a dream. You know, Neptune in the 8th house could definitely be a manifestation of nightmares. Like, maybe when you were younger, you got a lot of crazy nightmares, okay? Because you're mixing Neptune, which is dreams, with, you know, all that horror, which is the 8th house, you know, so trauma, so nightmares, basically. But even beyond nightmares, you know, it could feel like things are subliminally attacking you. Maybe you see a sign, it's some type of negative sign on a billboard, and then a few moments later or whatever, that thing that you saw actually happens to you. So it's like, you know, it's that type of superstition stuff, magical stuff, dreamy things that become a negative attack or force against you. Because again, like I said, 8th house is all about emotional obstacles. Yes, it's very negative, but it's meant for us to overcome these obstacles. So you're going to have things attacking you in order for you to become emotionally stronger. And these attacks, because it's Neptune, it's very spiritual. It's very not physical, like a dream, like a vision, like a sign, like something subliminal, okay? You know, just, you know, things like that, you know. So you can get spiritual attacks, you know. I would even say be careful of like dealing with psychic readers or, you know, people who are into like the spiritual mysticism and all those types of energies, because they can certainly use this to attack you or have power over you, maybe even scam you for, you know, readings or something like that. Like, you just got to be careful, because you can always feel with this placement like you're being spiritually attacked, like some ghost, like something is trying to attack you. And really what this is when it comes to the dream world and the spiritual world, you need to be emotionally disciplined. You need to understand this world for you is like defeating a bunch of demons. It's not going to be just magical. It's the 8th house, you know, so it's very dark, and, you know, you gotta go against these challenges. So this is what it is. It's a, you know, it's a spiritual attack, but you're not cursed. If you're more aware, like I said, if you're more aware about this, you'll be able to overcome these spiritual attacks, these attacks that feel like it's coming from like a demon or something, like it's just something that you can't even explain. But really, it's your karma. It's your karma when it comes to Neptune energy, when it comes to escapism, when it comes to drugs, when it comes to dreams, when it comes to magic. All of these topics of Neptune are going to give you obstacles, okay? Because these energies, you need to be emotionally disciplined. So I want to say with Neptune 8th house people, do not feel like you're cursed. Okay, I always want to say this with all 8th house people. I don't care, your Venus is in here, Mars, you're not cursed. You have a responsibility to overcome your karma. You got obstacles. You got one of the biggest obstacles. You got obstacles. You got to fight here. You got to be a warrior. So yes, you might feel like you're spiritually attacked, but you're not done. You got to be aware. The universe wants you to be aware of your spiritual energy. The universe wants you to be more disciplined with it. Maybe you are fooling around with magic, fooling around with spiritual energy, fooling around with your psychic gifts in your past life. And this lifetime, when you tap into those energies, you get all these negative attacks because you need to be more disciplined, because you're fooling around with it in your past lives, if you believe in that. But the 8th house is very karmic. So like I said, it can feel like you're being spiritually attacked. It can feel like you're cursed when you're being spiritually attacked, because you can't necessarily prove it physically. It can't necessarily make the most sense. It could seem like if you tell it to a person, they're like, oh, you're just dreaming, or dude, that's just a coincidence. But yes, you are getting spiritually attacked, but it's attacks that you can overcome with simple awareness. Neptune 8th house people, take note of your dreams. Take note of certain signs. Take note of your intuition. If you just get a certain intuition, believe it, okay? Because you got to protect yourself, okay? Neptune, even though it's a blind energy, it's a very intuitive one. So you can easily, with this placement, you can easily bring awareness, okay? And get rid of the fog if you just listen to your intuition, because you have Neptune here, so your intuition is strong. Just believe in it. Be confident in it. Okay, don't let people who keep telling you, oh, your intuition's wrong, make you feel bad about your gifts. Believe in it, because if you believe in it and you use it, you can solve so many of your problems. Okay, Neptune, the 8th house is, you need emotional discipline when it comes to your psychic abilities and your intuitive energy. You need emotional discipline, and that takes consciousness and awareness. And if you are conscious and aware, you can get rid of and overcome and defeat a lot of these demons attacking you, these like psychic spiritual attacks. Okay, you're not lost forever. All right, and you can become a super duper psychic, spiritual, powerful person. Okay, and that's why I wanted to lead to next is that with Neptune, the 8th house, it's here for you to master this energy. Okay, with emotional discipline. So once you have that emotional discipline, you can really master your psychic gifts. Like I said, the 8th house is very assertive. So these are people who naturally have, are naturally inclined to assert their spiritual psychic gifts. But if you can do this with discipline and discipline yourself emotionally, you can avoid and overcome a lot of the psychic attacks against you. You are not cursed, Neptune, 8th house. You are spiritually gifted. You're psychically gifted. You're very intuitive, and you're magical. And you just need a little bit more emotional discipline, and this is why you're getting these attacks. It's very important to understand this, because I want everyone who listens to these 8th house videos to understand you are not cursed and you can overcome these issues. Also, with Neptune, the 8th house, okay, there's a lot of compassion here. Yes. When you deal with so much emotional trauma and you have Neptune here, which makes you so open to these energies and you feel the emotional trauma so deeply, you know, you're naturally intuitive. You feel everyone. So people with Neptune, the 8th house, are great healers. Okay, these are people who can heal you emotionally because they understand the feeling and the depths of these dark emotions of feeling bad, feeling down. They're so compassionate. So amazing healers. This is good for therapy. Okay, this is good for counseling. This is good for spiritual coaching. Amazing healers with Neptune in the 8th house, okay? Also, with Neptune in the 8th house, there's a sense of dark creativity, okay? Neptune is the placement of imagination, creativity, art. But the 8th house is dark and it's hidden. So a lot of these people are very artistic and creative, but in a dark way. So if you're a poet, you like to create very dark poems. You know, if you're a filmmaker, you know, you like to create dark films and dark storylines. If you're a writer, you know, if you're a musician, you're a singer, you like to sing songs with strong emotions. Maybe the lyrics are very dark and emotive. And, you know, these are the type of things you like to go into, you know. You like to talk and create art with dark topics and emotional topics with lots of depth. So there's a dark creativity with these people. These people are very creative, but in a dark way. And it's beautiful because we need art that can penetrate us emotionally. You know, that type of song that like is so deep, and anytime you're in a sad mood, you know, that's the perfect song to go to. Like, this is the type of creativity they make. They make that type of creativity for dark, deep emotions, okay? So definitely something to be mindful of with Neptune in the 8th house. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is Neptune in the 8th house, a very powerful, intuitive, super psychic placement. Okay, but you need emotional discipline so that you can overcome these spiritual attacks that you get. Be aware, be mindful, be careful with drugs, be careful with escapism, be careful with the supernatural, magic, all these things, because you have a strong karma and discipline that you need to have with this in order to overcome them, so that this isn't such a negative experience, okay? So definitely be mindful with that, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, book a reading with me. I do astro readings as well as tarot. All you have to do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com, and we could go forward with that. Also, check out my music videos, all of that will be in the description box below with all the links. So check that out, and I'll check you guys out on the next video.